Today we will be looking at a bank reconciliation statement. We'll be constructing the updated cash book and the bank reconciliation statement from a worded problem. Now, this updated cash book and this bank reconciliation statement belongs to T Green, and the cash book shows an overdrawn balance of $34,000. This simply means that T Green had an arrangement with the bank where T Green was allowed to withdraw more from his bank account than he actually had in his bank account. He would then have to repay this amount that he overdrew, and he would repay this at interest. Now we start off by recording the balance for the cash book, for our updated cash book, which is $34,000. Now, because it's an overdrawn balance, it will be placed on the credit side, signifying a liability, signifying that we actually owe this money. Right. We are going to go through the other items given in the question and identify those transactions that belong in the cash book and those that belong in our bank reconciliation statement. Now, the first transaction, a check paid to Blue for $12,380, was correctly entered in the bank statement, but entered in the cash book as $13,280. So we paid a check to Blue, right? So this would have been recorded on our credit side because it's a payment in our cash book. Now we made an error, right? And we basically overstated the amount that we paid to Blue. Now we need to find the difference between the two figures to find how much we overstated the figure by. The difference would amount to $900. So we need to take back our $900, and we do this by making a debit entry. Next transaction, bank charges for the month of $1,000 was entered on the bank statement but not in the cash book. So because it was not entered in the cash book, we need to now go ahead and enter it in the cash book. Next transaction, the bank paid Green's insurance of $9,000 as instructed by standing order. Now this is a payment that was made by the bank, so it would be on the bank statement but not yet recorded in the cash book, so we now need to record it. And since it's a payment, it will be placed on the credit side of the cash book. And the amount was $9,000. Okay. Next entry, deposits of $80,000 made to the bank account on 29th May did not appear on the bank statement. So it did not appear on the bank statement, so therefore we need to put it in the bank reconciliation statement so it will not go in our updated cash book. Next, dividends of $21,000 from Red Limited was paid directly to Green's bank account. Now, the mere fact that this was paid directly to the bank account, it signifies that the entry would already be on the bank statement, where the entry would not be recorded at the time would be in our cash book, so we need to put it in our updated cash book. Now, dividends are payments that shareholders receive because they own shares in a company. So this is money that is being received by T-Greed. So therefore, this should be placed on the debit side of the account. And the amount is $21,000. Now it says 4 check totaling had not been presented to the bank board. Alright, so this would already be in the cash book but not on the bank statement, so this goes into bank reconciliation statement. Next, a check for $3,000 received from Yellow on the 2nd of May had been returned by the bank for insufficient funds. Alright, so therefore we had gotten the check from Yellow, right? And when the check was presented to the bank and the banks made their checks, they realized that there was insufficient funds in Yellow's account to cover the check, and therefore we would have made a debit entry in our cash book to record that we received this money. Now, in order to correct this, we now need to make a credit entry to cancel the transactions from our books because we did not actually receive this money. So let me refer. So this means non-sufficient funds, or you could have had this honored. So this is $3,000. Right? So we now have entered all our information that belongs in our updated cash book, and just by looking you can see that the debit side is the smaller side and the credit side is the larger side. Okay, we now go ahead and find our balance carried down. Total here 47,000. The difference between the two sides. After we have entered our balance carried down, we must enter our balance brought down below the double line on the opposite side, and it's the first of the following month. Okay, now that we have completed our updated cash book, the next step is to go ahead and prepare our bank reconciliation statement with those information that were in the cash book but were not placed in the bank reconciliation statement. Here you have the general format for the bank reconciliation statement. We know that we should have the name of the statement at the top. We have the balance as per cash book, unpresented checks, late lodgement or unrecorded deposit, followed by the balance as per bank statement. That is just one way that we could record our bank reconciliation statement. So we're going to start off by entering the information for our balance as per cash book. This was 25,100. However, this figure will be treated as a negative figure, seeing that it was an overdrawn balance. The balance was on the credit side, so it will be treated as a negative figure. You could also have written overdrawn balance as per cash book. That would also be an option. Now we're going to go back to the question and we're going to identify the item or items that are unpresented checks from the question. Now the items that we did not enter in the updated cash book, these are the items that we will be looking at. Now here we have 4 checks totaling 52,000 has not been presented to the bank for payment. So unpresented checks again would be those checks that we paid to suppliers or other individuals and they have not yet presented it to the bank for payment. So the figure for unpresented check as we have here is 52,000. Now when we go through the question, we would have realized that that was the only unpresented check that we have in the question. Now we are going to go ahead and do our calculation. That is negative 25,100 plus 52,000. That will leave us with $26,900. Now the only other transaction that we have left in the question is the item that says deposits of $80,000 made to the bank account on 29th May did not appear on the bank statement, right? So these are deposits, late lodgements are deposits that we made to the bank, but based on the time that we lodged it, it did not appear on our bank statement for that particular month. So that item would be classified as a late lodgement and the amount is $80,000. Okay. Now it says less late lodgements. It says less late lodgements. So it is 80,000 from 26,900. This will amount to a negative 53,100, which will show that the bank statement balance is overdrawn. That is the end of the demonstration for the bank reconciliation statement and the updated cash book. We entered those items that were in the question that stated that they were not in the cash book or errors were made in the cash book. So we corrected those errors and added those items that were not in the cash book to the updated cash book. And then we prepared the bank reconciliation statement with those items that were in the cash book but not on the bank statement. I hope that this demonstration will further help you to understand the concepts presented in the bank reconciliation statement.